All right. Thank you. So let's bring in the great magnificent Carmen. Let's bring her in. Sister Carmen, Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. And they've been working my sister to death. And she's the chosen. So she don't quit. Sister Carmen, we are looking at international.
You guys are fired up over there tonight, I'm telling you. Wow.
Because we knew you was coming on.
Going on over
there. We knew you was coming on tonight, so we knew we couldn't be reached.
Praise Allah, yes, sir. It's always good to hear, the dialogue that goes on between black folk, and you all are certainly igniting and lighting a fire up under people with your program. And I just think it's wonderful, and I say all praises due to Allah for you all and for what you're doing. It's really awesome.
Well, sister, thank you. And you got a wonderful program coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday. We're talking about
I do. It is finally here. Here we gonna do what we gonna do. We're asking Allah to bless us and everyone that comes out and have a wonderful time, that we're able to push this narrative around modest fashion and, just come together, brother, and do what we do.
Now, Sister Carmen is the owner of our Nisa Designs and founder of Women Working Together. Sister Carmen, you have been, this is now your third annual international fashion event. You have been lauded during Fashion Week in Italy.
Yes, sir.
Talk about, if you would. And you're quite stylish now. I want to make that clear. We ain't talking about putting a black woman in a potato sack.
Right. Yes, sir. It's really awesome. We have so many talented designers, both in the nation and outside the nation. There are a lot of designers who, even though they're not Muslim, they, do some modest fashion. And I think that modest fashion is certainly building a reputation within the business of fashion. And so, it's just exciting to be able to express who we are as designers and designers that, are following the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and how we move and how we dress. So it's an exciting thing, when I'm designing, I'm always, thinking about seasonal changes, weather changes, and living here now in the Midwest is interesting because when I lived on the West Coast, because of the weather, your color palettes are different because you're in a different climate. Being here in the Midwest, I find myself, seeking out a color palette that still keeps the energy level up even when we're in our cold and harsh winter months. So it's a lot to it. It really is. There's a lot that you put into it when you're designing clothing and trying to come up with, an aesthetic design that is going to be both appealing to not just Muslim women, but women in general all over the world.
Absolutely. So we're talking, brothers and sisters, with Sister Carmen Muhammad. This weekend is her third annual International Modest Fashion Weekend. Now, she was talking about a major fashion, it ain't a fashion show, it's a fashion extravaganza. And that will be August 31st. That's Saturday now at the Drake Hotel now. That's Saturday now at the Drake Hotel. So look, we want you to get your tickets, right? So look, this is the website, www.mfw.com. One more time, www.mfw.com. You can also go to straightwords.com, and we got all the information about her and her event there as well. Sister Carmen, let's stay here with the fashion extravaganza for a minute. What did we expect? And there's a reception too.
I mean, I think that people should come certainly with an open mind. I think when we put modesty in front of the word fashion, there are a lot of misconceptions about what that looks like. And when people do come and they are present and they do see the fashion, they're quite pleasantly surprised because they find that it's very, very, very beautiful fashion. It is, you're covered, but at the same time, it's very classy. It's a lot of clean lines, a lot of tailored looks, beautiful gowns that accentuate, the actual overall, I guess you could say, kind of a Middle Eastern. It's a mixture of a Middle Eastern and an Asian. You see so much, So I think when people come out and they're there, they're actually shocked. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know that this is what modest fashion looked like. Because when you look at modest fashion coming from different regions, what you're seeing is fully covered women in abayas and hijabs, and it has the same look. You don't see any particular elements to it. So when you come to a fashion show like this, what you see a mixture of modest fashion, which really is quite surprising. And people are like, wow, they're really wowed by it. So I think that, it's interesting, and I would love for people to come out and just see what modest fashion is really about, and we're not boxed in the way that people think that we're boxed in when it comes to fashion.
Sister Carmen, I think that the clothing is so stylish. It's just sharp. And I think that there are many women out here that don't want what they're seeing every day, but they have very few alternatives. You're talking about business wear, brothers and sisters. You're talking about leisure wear. You're talking about formal wear. Go on, Sister Carmen. I don't know this. You talk about it.
You are right on point. And one of the things that I decided to do this time is, I'm into fashion, so I'm constantly looking at these so-called, quote-unquote, galas that these folks have, and how they bring out the iconic designers to dress the women. And it's always has some level of unnatural freakiness to it, So I decided that I was going to do something along the line of couture fashion, so that people could really understand what that really looks like, and not always associate couture fashion with the Met Gala and with these gala affairs where you have all of this different type of fashion that it's very unnatural, and it's very revealing. And so I want women to come so that they can see what modest couture fashion looks like and how beautiful it is. And it's the highest form of civilization that we represent, and we're beautiful in that. And we can actually, be side by side with some of these iconic designers, and I believe that the world would choose what they see us in as opposed to what these quote-unquote iconic designers are designing for women.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's nice for people to come and see, the different spin that we put on fashion.
I was going to ask, but Brother Naba'a just alluded to what I was going to ask. Would there be different segments of the show for different times of evening wear, afternoon wear, or leisure wear, et cetera, et cetera?
Absolutely. Well, each designer they're all emerging modest designers, and I always tell designers when I do a show like this that this is your opportunity to show the vastness of your aesthetic design. So don't just do leisure wear. If you do gowns, if you do leisure wear, if you do bridal wear, put it all in that collection and allow people to see all of your collection and not just focus on, one particular thing. So what you're gonna see is you're gonna see a multitude of designers with different variations of different styles of dress, from sportswear to casual wear to bridal wear to evening wear, to everyday wear.
Yeah. No potato sacks.
See it all.
No potato sacks allowed. You want to see people that's talented.
No, sir. Not at all.
Not at all, man. And like I said, check out Sister Carmen on Facebook. She already sharp now. If you want to see what you can look forward to, and then go to the website.
We're going to try and keep this energy up. We're going at 110 right now, to make this thing happen and to get people out, And it's so funny. I want to tell you this story. The very first time that I went to meet with the staff at the Drake, there was a brother that I think he's one of the concierges, and he saw me in my headpiece, and he ran up and he said, "Oh my God, assalamu alaikum. We love the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan." And He went on, he said, "Well, what are you guys doing here?" And I said, "Well, brother, I'm going to try and have a show here in a month." And he said, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful because we don't see enough of our people in this establishment, And what he meant by that is, of course, the Drake is a very old property, but there's a nostalgia that is associated with the property, and it's quote unquote supposed to be one of the luxury properties in Chicago. So he was just excited about the fact that we were members, or I was a member of the Nation of Islam, and that I would be hosting something there. And the way that brother stuck his chest out, brother, I mean, it was really something.
Wow.
He was really, really, really excited. So, that's another thing, introducing ourselves to a whole nother level of what we have already been promised, which is luxury, money, good homes, and friendships in all walks of life. And we sometimes need to step away and step out and go get what is already ours. This is ours. This is not theirs. They have a temporary hold on it, but we need to make a permanent home in some of these places that already belong to us.
Weird now. Sister Carmen, you mentioned turnout. Now, is there a number? Because, brothers and sisters, look, I want you to buy some tickets. Did you hear me? Buy some tickets. So one, if people are interested in buying tickets, man, look, brothers and sisters, I plan on coming out the weekend, man, with my daughter. And I plan on being sharp too, so don't mess with it. But I'm saying, brothers and sisters, I'm saying mothers, I'm saying fathers, man. If you're a father, bring your daughter out to this thing and let her see a whole different aspect. Because Sister Carmen, you and I have talked about this. Lexi Red, you got Glorilla, you got so many of our young women that these music corporations are making merchandise out of. And they're making merchandise out of them by having them take their clothes off.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But most of these young sisters, brothers and sisters, they have not been taught, man. They don't know that they don't know. They don't know the beauty. So talk about fashion as having an impact in elevating the black woman.
Absolutely, it does. I mean, it speaks to who you are as a person and an individual. And I just recently had a conversation with someone, and we were talking about being able to penetrate the generational gap that exists with our youth, you know, in terms of their interaction with their grandparents, with their parents, with their older siblings. So many of our youth are spending 80 to 90% of their time in front of a computer or on a telephone, you know, looking at TikTok and all of these other things that have great influence over them. And so if we're going to change that narrative, we have to get involved and know what it is that's controlling the minds of our youth today. And when you talk about fashion, when you talk about entertainment, and when you talk about sports, that's what these young people want to talk about. They don't want to talk about anything else. They're not interested in anything else. So if we know that this is where their mindset is, and this is what is dominating the space, the mental space inside their head, then we've got to figure out how to penetrate that. And what better way to do it than through these same avenues, fashion, entertainment, and sports. So that's what we're trying to do. We're using fashion as a catalyst to give a message to our young women that you don't have to get naked in order to feel the value of who you are as a woman. We want you to know how beautiful you really are. And the only way to do that is to display that through the clothing. And so we're using that as a means of connecting or reconnecting with our youth.
And a lot of the beauty is in the mystique of you know, not showing all of that, you know, by showing the beautiful colors that our sisters wear, that you have the designs for. So not showing everything in the public is the beauty of it. You know?
It is. I mean, it's unfortunate because honestly, you know, these type of conversations are not the conversations that people really want to have. You know, we want to put all of these things on the back burner. And what we need to do is really study what the hell is going on. You know, we can get out and we can rally and we can do this and we can do that. But until we understand how this thing is being designed to penetrate the minds of our young people and our children who are our future, then they're gonna be allowed to come in and do whatever it is that they want to do, to say, and hang on to the minds of our young people out there. And this is totally unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. We got to get up and we got to do something about it. And I'm not just saying that, you know, but I'm trying to utilize whatever God-given talent that Allah has blessed me with to make a point with our young people and with our women.
All right. So look, listeners,
Sister Carmen.
Let me get in real quick, brother BJ. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Carmen, is there a phone number? Because we want tickets bought. Is there a phone number? We want tickets bought. Hey, y'all be clear on that. Or I tell you what, whatever you donate to Straight Words tonight, we will donate to Sisters Project. I promise you.
Oh. Okay? Man, that's
you donate
beautiful.
tonight.
Y'all don't have to do that.
No, yeah, we do, because we love black women.
Right.
We do.
Right.
Well, I appreciate it, beloved. I just appreciate the spirit, your prayers, your inspiration. It supports me, having the get up and go that I need to continue to fight, for this. So I really appreciate that. I just ask people to have an open mind. And if you're not doing anything this weekend, think about coming over to the Drake and joining us for what is going to be an awesome presentation of some of the emerging black modest designers that are on the scene today. So, yeah, please, if you can, come over, be a part of something really positive and something really great.
Now, Sister Carmen, is there a phone number where people can call?
Sure. They can call 312-206-8774. Again, that number is 312-206-8774.
Now, how much are tickets for the fashion extravaganza?
The tickets are $65.
Okay. All right. Now that's Saturday, brothers and sisters. But wait, there's more. Got a major event Friday night, an award banquet and ceremony honoring black women. I know you don't want to miss that. 700 West 79th Street Salaam Restaurant. Sister Carmen, talk a little bit about that, and how much is that event?
Yes, sir. That event also is $65.
It ain't even $100. It's not $100 a plate dinner. It's only $65.
It's a $65 dinner, and we did that because that's how much we want to make this affordable. You can get dressed up, glammed up, and come on over to the Salaam and sit down and have some good, wholesome Muslim cooked food prepared by Hania Muhammad of Simply Delicious. And I guarantee you, just the food alone will warm your soul. Then we have our brother Jamil Muhammad, as our MC and host for the evening. All right. And so we're going to have a good time, family, just lifting up Muslim women who are doing phenomenal things in our community. I call these women the dream keepers, and I call them that because these are women that are fighting some of the same battles that the men are, and they're out there and they're in the trenches, and they're still being women. They haven't lost their femininity. They're just dedicated to a cause and a purpose that's bigger than themselves.
All right. So, Brother BJ, let me throw one more thing that you can get your question in. Sister Carmen, you and I talked earlier about the banquet, and you had a target of 60 tickets needed to be sold. Let me say this, Sister Carmen. That number ain't 60 tickets no more. It's 50, because I'm taking 10. Straight Words is taking 10. Okay? Straight Words is taking 10. So listen, get that phone number again, Sister Carmen.
It's 312-206-8774.
Come on now. Go ahead, Brother BJ.
Go ahead. Yeah, I was just going to say, Sister Carmen, I thank you so much, because I know that some of the young sisters that you work with, when they put those garments on, it's changed their mindset about how they feel. Can you give a quick example of some of these young sisters, what they tell you when they ran into you and said, "Sister, I didn't know it could be like this," wearing these type of beautiful garments?
I mean, it's just real. It's very, very real. These women are being courted, and I use that terminology through the television programs, through mass media publications of fashion. And, everybody wants to feel like they are in the know, or they're part of the in crowd, so to speak, quote unquote. I'm a little older, so, I don't say the most current slang. But what happens is they're young girls that love fashion. So when they experience that they don't have to do what they see their peers doing, I've had a lot of young women tell me, I thought it was okay to go to the store with the leggings on and, to have on the silk cap that I slept in. I didn't think it was anything wrong with that, until I really had an opportunity to get completely dressed, and I felt different. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was presenting myself properly to the world. And I think sometimes we think that because they're young, that they don't have that type of mindset, and that's so untrue. So to see these women make that transition and begin to think more about how they're dressing and how the dress represents who they are, it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Go ahead.
Beautiful.
They feel like queens. They feel like queens.
Absolutely.
They are when they dress like
this
that.
is what they should feel like. See, this is the problem. We haven't provided that atmosphere and that we haven't provided that for young women. We haven't provided that per se for the children. You know what I'm saying? Where we're constantly feeding them about how beautiful they are and what they represent. And this is your culture. This is where you come from. This is who you are. We're not doing that enough. We're really not. And until we get back to that, we can do whatever we want to do out here. We can plan whatever kind of future. But if we don't have anybody to pass the baton to, that's a problem.
Wow.
Go ahead,
Sister Carmen, we're going to have to let you go. But give us that phone number one more time. Hey, hit this number, man. Buy some tickets. We taking 10 over here at Straight Words, man. What y'all doing?
Oh, my God. You got everybody at Straight Words looking at each other right now, huh? No.
We love black women. So, hey.
Yes, sir.
Come on now.
It is 312-206-8774. Again, 312-206-8774. And I just really have to say this, Brother Naba'a, and I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. I really thank you and your staff there at Straight Words for all that you have done as we have been on this journey pushing this show. We really have only been pushing it for a month or a month and a half. And that, in a lot of people's mind, is unrealistic in itself. But Allah's blessing us to still be able to do some things, and try and achieve that goal of getting to our people. But we couldn't do any of this without radio shows like your show, yourself, and you brothers, the other brothers there that are dedicated to the cause.
Yes, ma'am.
So I really thank you all. I really do from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Sister Carmen, and trust me, we're going to make our word bond. We don't make promises we can't keep.
That's right.
Oh, Brother Chris, stay tuned now.
Right. Go ahead.
Coming back with a serious session.
All right, y'all.
You're listening to Straight Words, WVON AM 1690. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Of Chicago and the voice of the nation is 1690 WVON Berwyn, Chicago.
I'm Vanessa Tyler.
And I'm Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
A debate over the debate. Now that the DNC is done, America's waiting for the highly anticipated debate between VP Harris and former President Trump. But the agreed-upon September debate is running into problems. First, Trump initially pushing back on the issue of open mic. Team Harris wants the mics unmuted, daring Trump to act presidential, keep control, and not speak when his time is up. But Trump also wants a different venue, saying ABC is not the network he wants.
I think ABC should be shut out. I'd much rather do it on NBC. I'd much rather do it on CBS, frankly. I think CBS is very unfair, but the best of the group.
The two are scheduled to take the stage on ABC September 10th in Philadelphia. Both campaigns continue to jockey over the debate rules. And the money is mind-blowing. The Harris campaign says since VP Harris's convention speech accepting the nomination, her campaign has raised $40 million, bringing to more than $500 million raised for the Harris-Walz team since President Biden stepped down and Kamala Harris stepped in.
Then President Donald Trump was caught on tape congratulating how Governor Tim Walz handled the riots in Minnesota back in 2020 following the cop murder of George Floyd. But now the Republicans are criticizing Walz. Republican U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson in Minneapolis, standing outside the old 3rd Precinct Police Headquarters that was burned down, said Walz led Minnesota burn down Harris, who poured gasoline on the flames by helping to bail out those who held the marches by supporting the Minnesota Freedom Fund, a nonprofit that pays bail and immigration bonds for those who can't afford to do it themselves. What should have been black family love turned deadly. Police in New York City say a 29-year-old nephew beat his 55-year-old aunt to death. The NYPD says Alexander Fleming's rage exploded after an argument when he picked up a broom and used it as a deadly weapon, bashing in the head of Juanita Dallas. Police say the nephew, who is charged with murder, has 10 prior arrests.
The price of beauty killed a black woman. Kadel Brown went to Istanbul, Turkey for her multi-procedure operation of a Brazilian butt lift, a tummy tuck, and a breast augmentation. But the 38-year-old mother of 3 who was from Britain never made it out of surgery. Brown's sister, who was in the waiting room, said she never got a full explanation but was told it was a fat embolism, a risk factor with a butt lift. Also, when the body was returned, the black woman's organs were missing. Turkey is a popular plastic surgery medical tourism location. On social media, stay connected with the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network. Catch us on X at BlackInfoNet. I'm Vanessa Tyler with Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
It's Matt McGill.
I'm going to be nice about how I say this. Now, on Facebook Live, there is a young lady named Trish Gates who just said on our Facebook Live page, slavery is over. Stop talking about damn slavery. I'm glad you're on WVON Facebook page and listening to the show. With all due respect to you, I am going to just encourage you to never say that again. I am so tempted to say so much more. Either you have lost your damn mind, girl. You don't know who you talking to. This is WVON, girl. You don't talk about slavery and you whites talking over there, man. You lost your damn mind.
Weekdays at 1 p.m. on The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weeknights, 6 to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I'll bring a national perspective to all things happening in Black America. It's talk the way you like it, and it's why America is listening.
It's the legendary Tavis Smiley, weeknights at 6 p.m. on The Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Light, life, and power drives our weekly talk show. Straight Words on WVON 1690, The Talk of Chicago.
This is Naba'a Richard Muhammad.
This is Brother B.J. Murphy.
This is Brother James G. Muhammad.
Tune in Tuesday nights, 9 to midnight, for real black talk. It's Straight Words.
On Straight Words, we inform, we educate, and we have a good time.
Black voices speaking on the black struggle for freedom, justice, and equality, and bold defenses of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. This Tuesday, 9 p.m. to midnight Central Time on WVON 1690 AM and WVON.com. And go to our website, straightwords.com, for more content. We're black.
And we're strong.
We're unapologetically pro-Farrakhan.